Popping, y'all. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. It's been a long time. It feels like since I've seen y'all. Y'all that watch my Baddies reviews, it's been a long time since you've seen me. I posted a track and field. I'm doing as you see. First of all, let's just talk about the intro. What y'all think about the intro? Drop it down below. I was like, it's time for me to revamp this channel. Like we on the mend. We trying to get everything going. Um, and I wanted it to be fresh. I've had the same intro since I started YouTube almost 3 years ago. So it was time for me to go ahead and get that stuff together, and I did. So let me know what y'all thought about it. I'm not the type. I told y'all I don't edit videos like that. So that took a lot out of me to get it, but I did. As y'all see, it's just me. Me and Legend, we've been having so many issues with the freaking the software that I use to download the videos that when we do it, it takes the vibe out of the actual recording of the actual recap because for some reason it just only works better with just one person. So I'm gonna do it solo on Sundays. I know a lot of y'all like it when I do it solo too. So I'm gonna give y'all what y'all want. Y'all are subscribing to me, so that's what we're gonna do. And then I'm gonna add Legend to the Monday night lives that I do. I don't know if I'm gonna go live tomorrow. I got some things to do, but I'm gonna add him there too to do the lives and add his thoughts in, and we can talk about it there too. And it'll work good too because me and Movie Bay are trying to do a collab for the live reunion recaps that we're gonna collab together with. But yeah, we're gonna do that. And I also want to thank y'all, as always. Thank y'all so much for watching the videos, the past couple videos, probably last month's videos. Every video I posted last month has done so well. Y'all been thumbsing up the videos, dropping the comments, keeping the engagement up. And that's what's been helping grow my channel because my channel's continuing to grow. I am a smaller channel, so any type of interaction, traction I get, I appreciate it. And also shout out to Zeus Unlocked T page on Instagram. I saw y'all posted some of us that be on YouTube. So I appreciate the support. I appreciate the support because little stuff like that goes a long way for a small channel like me. But enough with that. I want to go ahead and get into this episode. It's kind of dark, but we're going to get into it. Let's go. All right, so we get back to them in Jamaica. They are in Jamaica, and they're still separate. They're in their separate buses. Natalie's crew, they get to the house first. Their house is pretty nice, honestly. Their house is probably one of the best Zeus houses that I've seen. It's huge. It's like a mansion. It's literally a mansion. And of course, Rollie gets in there talking about it's a lot of rooms. They're still gonna have to be separate because she claims that they don't know how to act, talking about House B, but it's y'all that don't know how to act. But you already know we've been saying this for 16 episodes now. And it's just ironic to me because I'm like, y'all are the reasons as to why all this drama is happening, but y'all want to continue to point the finger and act like us watching the show don't see what is really going on. But Natalie and her minions, they're sitting in there. They're sitting in, I guess, this living space in one of the sections of the house, pretty much recapping everything that happened with ET and B at the restaurant. So they started talking about how Biggie was picking up the chair, and Rollie starts talking about how she understands, like, if it was in the streets, she understood as to why Biggie picked up the weapons and did what she did. But she feels like it wasn't the time to be doing that because if somebody picks up an object and busts somebody's face open. And I literally sat there and I paused the TV and I said, Rollie, how ironic. Because 2 episodes, you was just throwing objects. Was you not throwing water balloons and throwing water guns? Water guns and objects that could literally bust her face open if you hit her right. Like, Rollie, shut up. Like, when I say I'm so sick of watching her on my TV, it's shit like this that really makes me sick of watching her on my TV. It's one thing to be a villain. You can be a villain, but at least own the fact that what you're doing is what you're doing. Don't sit here and point the finger. That's what she does. She likes to point the finger and act like everybody else is the problem. No, you're the problem. If you want to be this good villain that you trying to act like you are on social media, you would own up to the shit that you're doing. And it's just crazy to me because her lapdog is the same way. But House B ends up arriving to their house, which is noticeably less extravagant. I don't know if y'all noticed that, but I did. They keep getting the shit into the stick, and I'm like, I don't know how they're not catching on to it, though. And I don't know how they're not catching on to it. I would have caught on to stuff like that. Their energy, of course, is much more lively. They're more excited to be around each other. They're more excited and happy about just being there. Like, you look at how they came into Jamaica, and you look at how the other girls did. The other girls are sitting there acting like there's so much drama that they're expecting, and these girls got here just excited to be there. It's just you see the differences in the certain group. Guy starts talking about how they're super excited to be there and all the bullshit that's going on. Like she's just excited to have them all together, and they start recapping the same stuff that happened in New York. Anna starts talking about how she drank 7 liquors and she was just blacked out drunk when she was doing what she was doing with Smiley. And Smiley was laughing. It was like they all were taking it lightly. They didn't take it seriously, as we all knew watching that Smiley wasn't taking Anna seriously when she was doing what she was doing. But Anna said that was Lulu and that was not Anna. So she then apologizes to Smiley for acting the way that she did. She did take accountability for what she did, which I thought was respectable because she did too much last week or 2 weeks ago in the last episode. I felt like she did way too much and she was doing too much on Smiley. So I was very pleased to see that she addressed it, took ownership for what she did, and apologized for doing what she did. They started talking about how Suki was wanting to send people home. Anna said that none of her girls in that house need to go home because they stand on business. And the other girls in that house that you over there with don't. And I'm like, two things can be true. Two things can be true because when you say standing on business in terms of fighting, I guess she's right in that instance because Anna stood on business with her fights. Tesehki did. Camila did. Biggie did. Smiley didn't. Like she really didn't. And then you got the other crews too. They got some of them girls over there that I guess you can say stood on business when it came to their issues. But then you got Mariah Lynn who didn't stand on business until she was forced to stand on business. Back at the other house, you got Sapphire. She's claiming that Suki has her opinions, but she feels like the girls, talking about the girls in the house with her, they don't have random issues with these other girls for no reason. And it's just like, yes, they do. Like, you know they do. You just don't want to call them out on it because A, you're now in deep with these girls, and B, in y'all's mind, for some odd reason, you could tell when they were filming the show, they thought they were going to be the fan favorites. So in her mind, they're the fan favorites. So of course I'm not going to turn on them. Of course I'm not going to call them out because I want to be that too. That's how it is with them. She also said that Smiley and Biggie were not innocent in what they did. And I'm like, yes, you're right with Smiley. But Biggie, the whole situation, if you want to talk about the situation with E.T., yes, Biggie is innocent. Biggie didn't do anything. E.T. made up a story, made up a lie that she continued to make up as the days went on. So yes, Biggie was innocent. E.T. just made up a lie and decided that she wanted to have a beef out of nowhere. So shut up. Like, I also said Biggie didn't do anything and she didn't take accountability for anything that she did. And it's just like, what is she supposed to take accountability for? She didn't do anything. Like, what is she taking accountability for? But E.T. claims it was bothering her because basically Sapphire said that's the reason as to why she feels E.T. is frustrated because she's not taking accountability. But Sapphire says it bothers her how Suki is playing both sides and said that she pretty much told Biggie, like, basically told them to let Biggie pick that chair up on her and essentially basically throw it or use it as a weapon. And she felt like that was wrong because that's literally how she got her name, Scarface, because somebody used a weapon on her. And I'm like, you can't be mad that people using weapons on you when you decide to run up and challenge them. Like, if you're trying to run up and sneak somebody, like Tesehki said last week, all bets are off in fights. You decide that you want to go run up on somebody and put your hands on somebody, they have every right to defend themselves the way they see fit. Granted, most people, I like to fight when it comes to physical situations. I like to fight first, but if I feel like you doing too much and I feel like you're challenging me, I have every right to do what I want. There's no rules in fighting, and if you want to continue to try and charge me, I'm going to make sure that you know not to charge at me again. And if I decide to pick up a weapon or whatever it is, you're going to have to deal with that. And that's what happened with Biggie. So I'm like, you shut up. Like, stop running up on people if you don't want people to use weapons and slash your face. So Rollie's also talking about how she don't like how Suki's picking sides. Well, she don't care that Suki picks sides. She says she just feels like she shouldn't be unbiased about it. And I'm like, she wasn't being unbiased about it. She built enough time to the point where she can now see how everybody is actually really moving. And she decided to make her opinion the way she made her opinion, the way she saw it. And you're just mad that she's not biased towards what you want to have happen. Like, you want her to be against Biggie the way you are. You want her to be against Smiley the way you are, but she's not. And Suki's starting to see it for what it really is. And we're going to see that next week too, which is interesting. But Mariah was saying how she was talking about how you was being messy, saying how, like, how are you talking to a bitch that wants you out the house? Which I didn't understand what she was saying there, but she claims that she addressed Suki about it, which we didn't see happen. But Biggie is now saying that Smiley continues to allow people to disrespect her, which is why they get pissed off for her. And basically saying, like, you don't stand on shit. You need to stand up for yourself. And I agree. Like, that's my main reason why I don't like Smiley. I don't like Smiley because she don't stick up for herself when it's time to stick up for herself. And if she does stick up for herself, it's for certain situations. You shouldn't just pick when you want to stick up for yourself. If you feel like somebody is doing something, and then I want to elaborate with that. Certain things are not, they're not big enough for you to always be trying to make a big scene about it. Like certain things that people say about you, sometimes you don't even have to address it because it's not that serious. It's not that deep. But in instances like this, when these girls are trying to bully you, I feel like you should be able to use your voice and stand up for it. Don't sit back and just like act like, oh, I'm not doing nothing wrong, or just sitting there allowing these girls to basically badger, bully, and borderline almost physically attack you, and then you don't do nothing about it, and then want to cry and want to be best friends with them the next day. That's why I don't like her. I don't like people that knowing that people are bullying them and also trying to be best friends with these people knowing they don't like you. I can't stand when people do that. So I get where she's coming from with that. But Anna was saying how she wants Biggie and ET to be able to do like her and Scotty and be in one room where they can just coexist and not have any drama. And it's just like Biggie was like, yeah, I can do that. But in my mind, it's like, why are you talking to Biggie about this? You need to talk to ET about it because Biggie's not the aggressor. ET is. Every time they in a room, Biggie has to be on guard because this bitch is the type of person that wants to go sneak somebody because she didn't do what she considers a big one, which I consider a big one because she ain't done nothing this season that lives up to the name and the hype that she has around her name from her fans. So in her mind, she knows that she hasn't. In her mind, she knows that she has not lived up to their expectations. So that's why Biggie's always on high alert with her. But the next scene we get Skyy. Skyy's sitting there. It looks to be in her room. She gets a FaceTime from Natalie. Natalie's claiming that she loves Skyy's vibe and hopes that everybody's on the same type of time that she's on. Natalie's asking about the flight and how the girls are. Skyy says that they're good. They had little mishaps with the flight, but they're all there. They're having fun. They start talking about the dinner in New York. Skyy saying she's excited to be in Jamaica and hopes that they can all have fun around each other this time. And Natalie's claiming that they're going to Ocho Rios, which she then said Ochos Rios numerous times, which is the beginning of a lot of illiterate behavior, which is why I was so happy to have a break from this show. A lot of people weren't, but I was, because watching this show consistently, you start to lose brain cells. But she was pretty much telling Skyy, like, get ready because we about to go out. We about to go out to Ocho Rios. So the next scene, they get in their sprinters. House B, they were coordinated, color coordinated. They looked like they were supposed to be in Jamaica. They're wearing the colors, the Jamaican colors. They looked like they were ready to have a good time. And Natalie's crew looking a mess. Like they over there talking about how they're upset about how T didn't come, which I found so interesting because now they suddenly appear to like T. T, she got to the airport but had to turn around and go home because she had a family emergency with her mom. So she didn't make it to Jamaica. So we didn't get her outro because this, I guess, is where the season is going to end. So she's not coming to Jamaica. She talks about how her experience was. She feels like she came on the show. She came on the show, did what she's supposed to do. She was who she was. She was funny. She had some types of beef, but she still was herself, and she left as the baddie that she is. But yeah, I feel like I feel like she had a pretty decent run in terms of her experience on the show. She definitely had, the first part of the season was really chill for her. She was just being comedic relief. Then she had her stint of fights where these people just randomly decided they wanted to have beef with her and get their fights off on her. And then towards the end, she was just kind of unknown, low key. Like she was just playing the field. She wasn't really with the girls. So it made sense for her to make her exit when she did. T, leaving the show, I don't feel like she did anything that made herself a disappointment. I don't. I feel like, yes, she shouldn't have been with them girls, like trying to be best friends with them towards the end. I wouldn't even say trying to be best friends with them. I just wouldn't associate with them, especially considering how they treated her and what they did to her. But T, I don't have no issue with T. I feel like T is one of the ones this season that I can truly say I like her as a person. I didn't know about her like that coming into it, but I feel like she didn't do herself a disservice on the show. One of very few. And then E.T. E.T. is now talking about it's her first time in Jamaica. Rollie, Scotty, they also have never been to Jamaica. E.T. is now saying that you're not a bad bitch unless you got a passport. So I guess she's finally a bad bitch because she finally got her passport. Golf clap. And then we got Camila and Smiley, and Anna is their first time. Anna's first time out of the country, which I assume is because she is young. I believe she's 22 years old, so I can believe this is her first time because she's low-key a baby. But ET's talking about how this is where the illiteracy begins. ET's talking about how Jamaican chips are stale. There you go, talking about people's culture. And then Rollie, being her illiterate self, claiming that it's so humidity. That's what she said. It's so humidity. I can't even say it. Humidity. She meant to say humid out here. And she claims that's why you got to eat the chipsises. She said chipsises. You don't. If you don't believe me, go watch it back. Chipsises. She believes you have to eat chips fast because it's humid outside to stop it from being stale. I don't understand the correlation. But Sapphire ended up calling her out for making up them words. She's like, "What did you just say?" And then she sit back there laughing and stuff. Like I'm like, "This is why I needed the break from the show because your brain cells you lose them watching this show. If this is all you watch from January to December every single year, you need to pick up a book. You need to watch something educational, freshen that brain." But House B, they're still having fun on their bus. They're dancing, drinking, talking shit. Smiley starts to get drunk. She apparently is like me. She's not a drinker. Um, I know my limits though. And when I say I'm not a drinker, I'm not saying I've never drank before. I've been drunk before. I'm in this period in my life where I don't care to drink. I don't really like to drink like that anymore. I'll drink on occasion. I'm not a drinker that does it due to my peers. Like my peers drinking and stuff, I'm not just gonna drink because they're drinking. But Smiley, as we all know, is victim to peer pressure. She wants to be liked. So I guess she felt like she needed to be drinking because everybody else on the bus was drinking. But apparently she don't drink or smoke. Skyy said this, and this is where Skyy started to win me back. Sky's been pissing me off the last couple episodes, but she was the MVP of the episode for me. We'll get to it. But she's starting to notice that too, that she's drinking too much. Smiley ends up being on the floor. So they're now trying to get her some water because she done drank too much at this point. She's on the floor. They're telling her to get up. They don't believe it. In my mind at this moment, I don't think they're taking it as seriously. They might think she's just acting in this moment. But Anna said Smiley was fine the whole time. Once they finally got to where they were trying to get to, she then all of a sudden can't get up. Skyy was saying that she was drunk because she has not eaten. And she does not drink. She took 4 shots, according to Skyy. And like Skyy said, I don't know how much she put in them shots. She could have poured. Like me, I'm a very heavy hand. I have a heavy hand, so when I pour, sometimes I pour a little bit too much. She could have possibly did that too. But regardless, like Skyy says, she don't drink. So somebody that does not drink that often, it's easy for you to get drunk if you don't drink that often. Take it from me, I know. But Tesehki, who was starting to really disappoint me this episode, feels like Smiley is acting. She said she's acting like she's super drunk. She said this is another scene to add to the Smiley acting. She said the MC was an act, which I was like, okay, Tesehki, don't start doing this. Granted, it's like I can't even fault her for sure for saying or thinking that she could be acting because of the way Smiley's acted in the past. She has lied in the past. So I get it, but to me, I'm the type of person I like to give somebody the benefit of the doubt. If I see in an instance like this, I would like to think that you're not acting, and I would try to help you. If I find out later on that you're acting, then that's a different story. But in the moment when you're first doing this, I would try to help you, which they didn't. But I'm gonna get to it. Natalie, their crew gets they get off their bus first, and then House B ends up getting off. Everybody except for Smiley, they're all sitting there meeting up, hugging and shit. So Natalie asks where Smiley's at because she noticed she's the only one that's not off the bus. Smiley is on the bus, and you can see in her eyes that she's just gone. Like she's not there. You can tell she's not like she's losing it, and like you can tell she's starting to lose consciousness, low key. So Skyy is telling Natalie that she's had too much to drink. She understands because she does not drink. And Biggie is saying everywhere they go, Smiley is making them look bad. And it's just like, yes, I get what you're saying, because nobody wants to be around a sloppy drunk. Nobody wants to take care of a sloppy drunk, especially when you're out in public. I understand that. Which, Smiley, you do need to take care of yourself. Control yourself. If you know you're not a drinker, don't overdo it. So I get what they're saying. But like I said, at the end of the day, this girl needs help. And in this moment, I was disappointed in every single person but Skyy. Skyy goes back to check on Smiley. And before I even get to that, Mariah Lynn and her corny, cringy ass is in them confessionals still trying to be funny. I'm not even going to try and say what she said. But Skyy goes back to check on Smiley, which I was like, respect to you. She was the only one that went back to check on her. She's taking care of her. She's talking to her gently. She's telling her, like, I'm here for you. I'm here to make sure that you're okay. I'm not going to leave you. And in my mind, while she's doing this, there's two security guards there. And I'm like, why has nobody thought to call the paramedics? Because regardless if it's a super serious decision, if she or a super serious situation, or if she's lying or not, regardless, this girl is clearly in this moment looking like she needs help. So why is nobody calling the paramedics? Because who's to say it couldn't get any worse? Which it does, but we'll get to it. So Skyy tries to make her drink water. She's getting ready to throw up on Skyy. And this part cracked me the fuck up. It was so funny because it's low-key some shit I would do. I would be the type to help. But she literally was about to upchuck, and because Skyy has the bottle of water and she's like pouring it in her mouth, and as like she's right here in her face too. So as she's literally doing that, Smiley's about to upchuck, and Skyy does what I would do, and I feel like anybody else would do. She mushes her face, like, get your face away from me. I don't want you throwing up in my face. And Skyy starts laughing and runs away. And security's like, damn, Skyy, because she ended up falling, because Skyy was low-key in front of her, keeping her from falling off the bus. So when she did that, she moved out of the way and she fell forward. And Sky's like, why the fuck you talking about damn Skyy? It's two of y'all right here. Y'all could have fucking caught her. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. They could have. But she's like, what am I supposed to do? Sit here and let her throw up in my face? But Scotty, of course, tagging behind Natalie. Like, she is on Natalie's hip, which I find so funny considering what's about to happen next week. But they fake asses come over there, and Natalie is talking about, are you serious, bitch? I'm like, are you fucking serious? This bitch is clearly drunk. Like, what do you mean? Like, are you serious? Natalie was talking to her like she was sober and just like acting a fool in front of her sober. Like, this girl is clearly not, low-key not conscious at this point, and you sitting here screaming at her like she can hear and understand you. So they're just sitting there watching her, but nobody, like I said, thought to call the medical. Like, nobody thought to call for medical assistance. But Natalie sits up in her face, tells her to sit up and put her feet on the ground. You're not coming because you can't walk through the market. And she's screaming at her to drink water. And I'm like, Natalie, why are you screaming at this girl that you can clearly see is not okay? Like, she can't hear you. You need to be talking to her gently and trying to figure out a way to get somebody to bring some paramedics over here, EP. But she's screaming in her face. Natalie, Skyy is again telling her that she went overboard with the drinking. And they thought that she would be okay because she poured her own shots. But she didn't mix any liquors because Scotty was asking if she did, and she didn't. She said also that she hadn't been on her medication. So Natalie finally suggests that she needs to go to the hospital. And as she's doing it, she's screaming at her to sit up. Sit up! I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with Natalie? Like, what are you, like, you don't know how to take, and it's crazy because she got a kid. And I'm like, are you acting this way when your daughter is sick? I hope not. But Skyy starts laughing because as all this stuff is going on, Smiley low-key, I'm not even going to joke to you. There were times where I was contemplating if she was pulling a stunt or not, because the way she was acting, sometimes it did look a little over-exaggerated. But me, like I said, I'm giving her the benefit of the doubt. I'm hoping that she's not exaggerating because she did look like she was literally needing help. But the way she rolled her neck back, Skyy started laughing, and I started laughing too. And Scotty was like, why are you laughing? And I think it was Natalie said, why are you laughing? And Skyy was trying not to laugh because it was not funny, but it was so funny. But Natalie is still sitting there trying to talk to her, telling her that she needs to be responsible and know your limits. And it's not safe out here. You're not in America. While that may be true, this is something you talk to somebody when they're sober, after the fact. You know this girl is drunk. She can't hear you. She don't understand you. Stop doing this. Try to figure out a way to get her some help. Scotty has a pointless confessional, skipping past that. Smiley is about to upchuck. They finally end up trying to get EMS there. Smiley's talking about how she wants her son. This chick is trying to get her to open her eyes. They bring a wheelchair to the sprinter, and now all of a sudden, all the girls come back acting like they're concerned. It's just like, y'all didn't have all this concern whenever she was clearly needing help. But she gets wheeled off, and she starts saying, I hate my life. And like I said, it's not funny, but it was so funny to me. And now she's sitting here crying for her son, and she's repeatedly saying this stuff. And this is where I'm like, is she putting on a show? Because the way she was doing it, it just seemed so, like, random. Like, being drunk and stuff, you can be drunk, but I don't see nobody doing all this stuff when they drunk. I've been drunk before, and I don't think I've ever said anything like this, but maybe I'm just giving her the benefit of the doubt. But it was funny to watch. That part was funny to watch. It's not funny, but it was funny. But Skyy ends up propping up the Zeus team for doing what they should have been doing, finally getting people together to try and get her some help. So Smiley's continuing to throw up, crying for her son, and it got to the point where it was too much. Like they dragged this whole scene out. You see her just literally looking all types of disheveled, like she looks a mess, and she looks like she really needs help. And this is something that you shouldn't have put on TV, low key. I feel like this is not something that they should have aired because it just didn't feel right to watch. It felt low key dark. Like she's throwing up. She's clearly not okay. I wouldn't want to watch myself back acting like this, but you are on TV, so I guess. But they continue to air all that out. I skipped through some of that because it was just like too much. I was like, I'm not about to sit here and just keep watching her throwing up. And Tesehki starts saying that Smiley thinks that somebody was gonna fight her, and now she's trying to act like she's drunk. Tesehki is sticking to this like she's faking it, she's faking it, she's faking it. We don't know if it's true or not, but like I said, this was just distasteful for me in the moment, which made me a little disappointed in Tesehki because I'm like, at this point, granted, if you know that she does have a history of doing stuff like this, but in an instance like this where it does look like it could be serious, I would think somebody like Tesehki, who has so far proven or at least shown that she has maturity, I would have thought she would have took the situation a little bit differently, but she didn't. But Mariah saying 3 or 4 shots don't do that to nobody at her size because it didn't do nothing to her at, 120 pounds. And saying, like, there's no way that you can't handle your liquor. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, people that don't drink don't know their limits. That's why they shouldn't drink. And if they do drink, they should drink responsibly. Yes, you're right. They should drink responsibly. But 3, 4 shots to somebody that don't drink, yes, it can get you fucked up because it's a reaction in your body that you're not used to. You could feel like you're about to die. So I'm like, shut up, Mariah, shut up. But they ended up taking her out of wherever she was. I thought that was a hospital, but apparently it wasn't. She then has a seizure, and Tesehki is screaming that she's faking it. And I'm like, because it literally looked like she had a seizure. It literally did. But next week we got a lot of shit going on. Tesehki is still screaming that she's faking it. She said she felt like she was scared. That's why she began faking it. Natalie was saying right here, she said this, but she's going to contradict herself later, saying she knows that they don't like her, but this is serious. She then tells them that Suki and Bobby are coming. Bobby Lights, don't know why he's here, but Suki comes. And it's clearly showing what I said a couple weeks ago. Suki is going to literally win me all the way back because she's fighting Rollie for a reason that I hoped and wished that she was fighting her. But Rollie, again, trying to make everything about herself, trying to make a moment, trying to have some type of reason to have a fight. She decides to make it about herself, saying that she's faking the seizure and she's going to beat the shit out of her because she lost her dad because he lost his life to seizures. What does that have to do with you? Like, that has nothing to do with you. Nothing to do with you. But of course, you want to make it about you. But Natalie and Scotty, they're getting into it. It's going to be interesting to see how that pans out. And then Natalie is now jumping on Smiley at this, talking about you faking seizures and shit, screaming in her face. And then ET's punk whack ass decides she wants to throw water on Smiley. But wasn't she on Twitter and Instagram like 4 or 5 weeks ago talking about how you was on Smiley's side when Rollie did what she did? But you in here throwing water on her when you know that she just had an episode. And then Suki said, y'all bitches are whack when she did that, which is how I know she was sticking up for Smiley and calling ET out for being whack, like her and Rollie jumping in on shit that has nothing to do with them. And you can see Suki finally saw it for herself and finally realized that these bitches are whack. So, and then Suki and Rollie end up fighting. And I'm pretty sure it's because of that. So, because Suki was telling her too, like before, that basically, like, you need to like chill out. Like, don't let stuff like this get you to the point where you having to fight people. So Suki is redeeming herself. I'm excited to see that. I was all over the place, y'all, because I got a whole new setup. I got my iPad here now. You see, I got a mic. I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna do all this stuff, but yeah, we are here. We are back. Happy 2024. Thumbs up the video. Please continue to do that. Y'all been killing it. 200 plus, like close to 200 likes a video. That's dope. I appreciate y'all as always. Drop your comments, subscribe if you are new here. Please turn your post notifications on so when I do post, you watch. Check the community page as well. I'll be over there. I pretty much let y'all know when I'm gonna drop stuff. Yeah, I got a lot of other shows coming this week. Traders is coming. Like I said, I've started my track and field coverage. Please watch that if y'all really fuck with me the long way. Y'all gonna watch it. Thumbs up that video. Yeah, Traders is coming this Friday. Love Island All Stars. I'm gonna do that as well. And then we got this stupid shit. So I will see y'all then. Thank y'all so much for watching as always, and I'll catch y'all the next time. Peace.